Listen up, man. Let's get right down to the business. You read the title. Your spine is the gateway back to the divine. Yes, sir. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. Your spine is the gateway back to the divine. You might be wondering, okay, man, what the fuck does that even mean, bro? My spine is the gateway back to the divine. Make that make sense for me. What do I got to do with my spine? Do I have to relieve my back pain? Do I got to get a 500-pound deadlift to get back to the divine? What's going on? Well, relax. Relax. Relax, my guy. I'm going to need you to just take a deep breath. Come on, do it with me. Because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. For first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey that we call life is, again, your spine is not only the gateway back to the divine, but your spine is your gateway to experience reality on every single plane of existence. I'm talking about the mental, physical, and spiritual. Why? Because your spine, your spinal column, holds the nervous system. And your nervous system is, of course, correlated to your motherfucking brain, your motherfucking mind. Let that sink into your psyche. Your spinal column and your brain, your nervous system and your brain are essentially the same thing. They are part of the same system. They are part of the same mechanism that allows you to manifest and realize this material world, and also helps you realize the mental world, and also helps you tap back into the spiritual world, aka the divine realms, which is why this is the gateway back to the divine. When you start to actually ascend up the spine. And what does ascending up the spine mean? Ascending up the spine is referring to the journey of consciously evolving, consciously ascending, consciously elevating. You see, your consciousness is, again, correlated to your spine. Consciousness is your state of awareness. Consciousness is your rooted view and perspective of life. They go hand in hand, they feed into each other. Whatever plane of consciousness that you're rooted in will shift, shape, and mold the reality that you see right before your very eyes. And each plane of consciousness is correlated in the yogic traditions as these chakras. And for some of you guys out there, you're gonna be like, well, okay, man, woo-wah, blah, blah shit. I ain't really fucking with that. I'm clicking off this video. And trust me, I've been there. But let me break it down for you, bro. Let me break it down for you, because there is the woo-wah, new age version of the chakras, and there is the true esoteric science of it. You see, yoga is the science of returning back to the supreme source. Yoga literally means union with the divine. That's the whole goal. We're trying to achieve yoga. Every religion, every spiritual tradition is trying to achieve yoga. However, some of them do it through just pure obedience, pure salvation to the Sky Father, while others teach you the fucking science of how to use this system to get back to that point. Use your spine to achieve and attain and open up that gateway back to the divine. So if you are picking up what I'm putting down, let's get deeper into the science of the chakras, the planes of consciousness. You see, each plane of consciousness along your spine correlates to, again, a specific view of the world. What most people are stuck in is the lower three chakras, the lower three planes of consciousness, and that is associated to your animalistic instincts of survival being the first, sex being the second, and status being the third. That's what most people, majority of men, the 99 percentile of the population, are stuck rooted in. And they don't even know. This is unconscious, because the world around them, the material world, the Maya, the matrix, the illusion, society as a whole has designed certain systems to put them in that place and keep them stuck in that plane of consciousness forever and ever and ever and ever, never realizing that there are more higher levels to existence that they could experience within this human reality. You see, an animal doesn't have the abilities to tap past outside of survival, sex, and status. That is all ruled by instincts. Animals are all ruled by instincts. Mankind, however, has the ability to either descend back to the animalistic instincts, but also at the same time ascend up the spine to the angelic qualities that he holds, that he has within him. This is the journey of self-mastery. This is the journey and the ascent up the spine, up the planes of consciousness, which opens up the gateway, the doors back to the divine. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You see, let's say you're stuck rooted in the lowest plane of consciousness of survival. What is your world gonna look like? You're always gonna be looking at things in a hostile manner. Whether it be you're always in arguments with people, whether it be you're trying to just hoard all this food because you think people are gonna come and get it. You're gonna be looking at things as dangers, as threats, because you're stuck rooted in the survival state of consciousness. A lot of people stuck in poverty are rooted in that. This is why violence, this is why all these different types of lower level pursuits are embedded into their psyche, because that plane of consciousness alters and shifts their behavior. See, I like to look at it like this. Each plane of consciousness is almost like a pair of glasses. When you put on a pair of glasses, the same world in front of you is shifted into a different format. It could be all red, it could be all yellow, it could be all orange, it could be all green, it could be all blue, or it could be completely clear because there is no glasses. That's the highest level. That is the crown chakra. That is the gateway back to the divine, where there is no glasses. There is no duality. There is no separation. There is only clarity. There is only pure understanding and equanimity of who you are and what this life is about. That's the journey. You're trying to take off the glasses. But throughout that process, you must go through the different glasses themselves to get closer and closer and closer to no glasses. So right now, when we're stuck rooted in the Muladhara chakra, the survival state, our glasses are red. And red is associated with anger. Red is associated with violence. Red is associated with wrath. Literally, the color red, if you look at it, it's not evil, it's not bad, but it triggers that. That's why all these stop signs and these different types of things around you use the color red to signal survival. If you're driving on the road, not giving a fuck, and you see a big ass red stop sign, not only does that red color shock something within your nervous system to slow the fuck down, but also it triggers you and puts you into that plane of consciousness. But we're not here to talk about colors and consciousness. That's a part of it. But the end result is when you're stuck rooted in survival, guess what? All you're thinking about is survival. The same world that can be beautiful for someone else who's rooted in the divine states of bliss, to you is a war field, is a fucking horror story going on. Now, sex, the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana chakra, everything that you see around you is sexualized. Every interaction has something to do with sex in your mind. That's what you want. That's what you're craving. And sexuality can also be upgraded to sensuality. Sensuality is the pursuit of sensual pleasures. So everything that you look at in life in these areas or this plane of consciousness is about what can give me pleasure, what can give me pleasure, what can give me pleasure. You're like a dope fiend. You need another hit, another hit, another hit, another hit. Everything you look at it, whether it be food, whether it be cars, whether it be clothes, whether it be hoes, you're trying to get another hit. So everything you look at in life, people that you talk to, interactions that you have, are all rooted in sensuality as well as sexuality. That is the next chakra that a lot of people are stuck in. And the one after that is status-based. Status means you're trying to pump up your ego. You want people to know you that fucking guy, you're him. Because either you have an insecurity within yourself that you need other people to think that you're him because you don't think that you're him. You don't think that you're the guy. You don't think you're alpha. You don't think you're a top G, but you're using all these things to cover up and cope. Or you're just addicted to attention. That's what most people are stuck in, either coping because they ain't the guy, but they want other people to think that they're the guy, or they're addicted to attention. They've gone past the addictions of sensuality, and now they're just addicted to attention. You know, there's people out there that can get all the girls that they want, yet they're not really caring for fucking all these women. However, they love and crave the attention. They love the external validation. That is their drug. Instead of dopamine, the attention, the validation is their drug. And past that is where you start to tap into the states that go beyond the animal. You see, the animal, I'm looking at my dog right there, just wants those three things: survival, sex, status. If it's got that covered, that's amazing, because along their spine, on a metaphysical sense, that's the only chakras that are in place. That's the only planes of consciousness that they can tap into. Everything else beyond that, the animal cannot tap into. So if you're telling me that all you were brought here to do was survive, have sex, and achieve status, nothing else beyond that, then you would have came here as a fucking animal. I don't care how smart that you think you are. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is far smarter than you and far smarter than me. It would have brought you here, incarnated you here as an animal if that was your dharma, if that was your destiny, if that's what you were really brought here to do. Just satisfy your senses of sex, survival, and status. This is something that a lot of people don't understand, better yet, understand, is that the human has the capability to go beyond and ascend to greater heights. They're just stuck following whatever society tells them. They're just stuck following whatever, I don't know if you can see here, the police, the feds tell them. Let's take a quick pause. But back to what I was saying, every time I drop them facts, the feds is on my ass. Pause. But let's get back to the original topic. Most people never question what it is they were brought here to do. Most people never question about what life is about. They just follow the status quo, whatever society tells them, and whatever social media tells them, and whatever their friends tell them, whatever family tells them. However, when you tap into the heart chakra, the anahata, the fourth plane of consciousness, this is when you go beyond the constricting confines of that lower animalistic instincts. You start to question what life is about, and you start to realize that life isn't all about you and your selfish needs. Life isn't all about you being the main character. Life is something deeper to that. That's when you tap into that plane of consciousness. This is usually where people dive into these states of spirituality, philosophy, questioning life, because they have gone beyond the compulsive nature of the carnal mind, the animalistic mind. They've gone beyond that. And now they're tapping back into the human. And they're using their mind. Funny enough, within the esoteric and occult teachings of time, the heart was always referred to as the mind of the soul. And in science, this can be backed up by the fact that there's a lot of neural connections and signals from the heart to the brain. Of course, the brain and heart work in harmony, work in synchronization. So take it for what it is. But now, this is a part of your spine where you're at the middle point. The three lower chakras and the three higher chakras you're in between that. Most people, when they're born as humans, are rooted in this. However, they descend and descend down the spine due to all the programming of society, due to all the programming of the Maya, the matrix, the illusion. When you tap back into the heart, this is your launch pad. This is your diving board to go into the depths of the unknown planes, the higher planes. Keep going up the spine in order to awaken and open the gateway, the doorways back to the divine. And that is done through the path of self-mastery. That is done through the ascending path of self-mastery. The right-hand path, called in yoga, Dakshinachara, which is about going beyond that pull of the animalistic mind. Because when you're at this point, you can either consciously evolve, which means you have to actually consciously make the effort to evolve and continue ascending, or you will unconsciously spiral back downwards the descending path to the southern pole towards your lower nature without any conscious effort. Because like gravity, things just get pulled down. And within the times and days that we're living in right now, in the yogic philosophy, this is called Kali Yuga. And I want to make it very clear, this is where carnality is at an all-time high and consciousness is at an all-time low. It's easier. It's everything that you see is carnally focused, is associated with those animalistic instincts. Very rarely do you see people talking about these high-level conscious stimulating topics. What do you see around you? All this brain rot, all this bullshit, all this promiscuity, all this junk food, all this porn, all this nonsense that keeps men a slave to their senses. It's the default mode. It's natural. So if you don't consciously make the effort to ascend, you're going to unconsciously descend, just like gravity. Right now in Kali Yuga, the gravity levels are really fucking high. That brings you right back down to the lower planes of consciousness. Just like how, if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta train in the gravity chamber, where everything is that much harder to move and all that stuff because of force of gravity. They upped the notches in that specific room, in that specific training facility. This is the time and day that we're living in right now. We are in the gravity chamber, but in a spiritual sense. What allows you to break free from that, which is going to be harder. It's going to be more difficult than other timelines, they say, because you're starting off from ground zero. You're not starting off at 25, you're not starting off at 50. You're going from 0 to 100, and that takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, a lot more energy than going from 25 to 100, 50 to 100, 75 to 100. But it doesn't mean you still can't get to 100. It's just you're starting off at the starting line, while some people are getting, or the other stages within life, the other yugas, the other cycles of time, get a little head start, get a little boost. Don't mean you can't fucking still win the race, but it means you got to work that much harder. And this is why self-mastery is the key. This is what we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, The Philosopher. If you don't know about the main channel, where we're doing our documentaries, our full professional edited content, all the sauce, all the game that we cooking up over there, check out the link posted in the description box down below. We're up on the game that we got over there, man. We're cooking up some real crisp, real highly edited, and just overall mind-blowing content over there. Truly some good stuff there if you have not tapped into it yet. And of course, also within the description box down below, we got the Instagram link. So if you ever want to talk about these different types of topics in depth and in detail, just shoot me a DM. I'll be more than happy to chop it up with you, my guy. But again, like we were saying, the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, on the main channel, The Philosopher, again, link posted in the description box down below. On the private Patreon community, man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Let's take a quick pause right here, right now. Because if you're somebody who's truly serious about this ascent up the spine, who's truly serious about self-mastery, who's truly serious about breaking free from the pull, the constricting confines that makes you a slave to your compulsive nature, you're ready to take that leap of faith. You're ready to make this ascent, this treacherous journey up the mountain of self-mastery, and you have not joined up into the private Patreon community yet. If you're somebody like that, and I'm talking to you right now, I'm gonna need you to find the closest mirror to you. I don't care if it's in a car window, I don't care if it's in your bathroom. I don't care if it's in your selfie camera of your phone. Right now, find that mirror and take a good, hard look in it. Really analyze, get a good mental picture of the person that's staring right back at you in that mirror. That's staring right into your eyes and staring right into your soul. Once you get a nice click-clack Kodak moment of him, that mental picture is marinating in your motherfucking mind and sinking into your psyche, I need you to realize that you're doing that guy, not me. The person that's staring right back at your soul, that's staring right in your eyes, that you see in the mirror, a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community yet. Because within the private Patreon community, we are truly going in depth and in detail to uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery, breaking down every single thing when it comes to the mental, physical, and spiritual realms of reality to help you elevate your game on every single plane. You dig what the fuck I'm saying? I'm talking about content you ain't gonna find on this channel. So if you're enjoying this, just imagine what the fuck we got going on over there. You ain't gonna find it on the main channel, The Philosopher. So if you're already watching The Philosopher stuff, just imagine what the fuck we got going on over there. You ain't gonna find it, matter of fact, anywhere else on the internet. Because this is some real deal game, real deal sauce that is truly only meant for those who are ready to ascend up this path of self-mastery. So again, if that's you, I'm telling you, man, you are missing out, because along with all the exclusive videos where we're breaking down ancient texts, esoteric teachings, occult doctrines, and all that good stuff within the private Patreon community, you get access also to our full guides, our in-depth occult lectures, our digital libraries, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you'll get an invitation to our private group chat where we host our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, you heard me right. Let me say that again. Our bi-weekly mastermind live calls where you hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery. If you want to be surrounded with others who are also taking this journey up the spine through the path of self-mastery, breaking free from the illusions of the matrix, of the Maya, of the illusion of the matrix. If you want to be surrounded with people like that, we're going to hold you accountable, who want to see you elevate, and who want to eventually see your soul liberate. I'm telling you, man, the Philosopher Circle is the place for you. I can assure you that 100% guarantee. But if you need any more information about the Philosopher Circle and the private Patreon community as a whole, check out the link posted in the pinned comment of this video, not the description box. That's where you'll find the link to my main channel and the Instagram, but I'm talking about the pinned comment of this video. Just click the pinned comment of this video and you'll be forwarded to our page where you not only will find the link to the private Patreon community to get more information, but also to the links for the other services I provide, such as application forms for my personalized coaching program. If you're someone who is truly dedicated, devoted, and serious about this path up the spine, about this path of self-mastery, and you're ready to detox, disintegrate, dissolve the karmic ties, the degenerate habits that are dissuading you from ever being able to discover your destiny, discover your dharma, discover your divine potential, whether they be mental blocks, physical blocks, spiritual blocks, it does not matter what it is. If you're ready, that's all that matters. If you're ready to take that leap of faith into the unknown, and you're ready to sacrifice on this path of self-mastery, shoot me an application form and we'll see if your criteria meets the qualifications for this coaching program, because this coaching program is about a personalized approach for you specifically to systemize a solution back to help you get up the spine, unlock different planes of consciousness, and help you essentially break free from all these debilitating chains that are keeping your soul enslaved. If you truly want to taste some divine bliss, you want to actually embody your divine highest essence, then this is what this program is all about. Shoot me an application form, and again, we'll see if your criteria meets the qualifications. But if you're just trying to book a one-time one-on-one consultation call with me, you got a specific topic, specific question that you want to ask, you want to discuss, and you want to get guidance on, so we can help systemize the solution to get you back on the right track, the booking link is all right there as well, man. Just shoot that forward, and we'll see if any of these services will help you and guide you to that ascent up the spine, the ascent back to this gateway to godhood, to the divine, to your true self, to your true essence. All that good stuff, again, posted in the pinned comment of this video. Just click it. You'll be forwarded to our page. And whatever service really speaks to you, shoot that. And we'll see how we can help you further ascend along this path. But like I was saying, all the stuff that we're talking about here on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community especially, as well as the personalized coaching program, it's all about giving you the tools, the artillery, the tips, the techniques, the weapons to be able to slice through all those karmic ties, those conscious cords that are keeping you stuck, rooted in that gravity chamber of the animalistic instincts. What allows you to truly get past those 3 levels and past even the heart chakra is the ability to unlearn all the BS, all the programming from your upbringing, from your past, from realizing that you are not just a brain and body. You are not just a flesh and bones. There's something deeper beneath the surface that is animating the flesh, that is activating your brain. And the higher up that you ascend up the spine, the closer and closer you get to that. And the closer and closer you get to these subtle planes of consciousness, the closer and closer you get to the mind of God, to God realization, to self-realization, to the consciousness of Christ, to the mind of the Buddha, whatever you want to call it. All of these self-realized men, these awakened sages, these awakened masters, all of them open up this gateway through ascending up the spine that allowed them to tap back in with the motherfucking divine. You dig what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? This isn't something that is brand new. This is something that has been seen through all the ages. This is a science of your ascent and your return back to the supreme source. And you can do it right here, right now, however it requires sacrifice. Because these higher level chakras, these higher level planes of consciousness up the spine, past the human heart center, is tapping more into your spirit, and tapping more into your spirit gets you, it detaches you more and more from the flesh, more and more from the material. It's like an inverse seesaw. The more you ascend up the spine, the less you give a fuck about the material. I'm not saying the material is bad, but it's no longer your God. You don't worship survival, sex, and status anymore. Your whole life doesn't revolve around that. And a lot of people are too attached and too scared and have too much FOMO. Oh man, what am I gonna have fun with if I keep ascending up the spine? I'm telling you, the more that you ascend up the spine, the more you tap into these higher planes of consciousness, because the next one is the throat chakra, the Vishuddhi. And this is all about creating your own world, because you go beyond the programming of the past and you start to create your own vision of reality and your own perspective of what this life is, because you're no longer stuck, rooted in those planes of consciousness. You're no longer stuck, rooted in this injecting disease, this virus of society, the matrix, the mind, the illusion, feeding all this bullcrap of who you are and what it is that you're really brought here to do. Because once you tap out of the throat chakra and tap into the ajna, the third eye, you start to access something called gnosis, which means knowledge. Not any type of knowledge, not something you can find in a book, not something that you can find in a podcast. This is a type of knowledge that can only be accessed from within. And this is divine knowledge. This has your dharma encoded in it. What is your dharma, you might think? You might be asking. Your dharma is your destiny. Your dharma is your divine duty. Your dharma is the real reason why you have incarnated here on this plane in this specific time period with this specific body and this specific brain. It is the reason why you were brought here, and it is the thing that once you align your life to will bring you closer and closer to states of divine bliss, spiritual ecstasy. When you follow suit with your dharma, when you follow suit with what it is your soul was brought here to do, no longer just chasing things to just stimulate the senses, because let's just keep it a buck, let's keep it 100 here like I'm goddamn Benjamin Franklin up in this bitch. Doesn't matter how many cars you have, doesn't matter how many clothes you have, doesn't matter how many hoes you fucked. You always will want more, because all you're doing with these pursuits is stimulating the senses. You're never satisfying the senses. You're not even satisfying the senses. You're not satisfying the soul nor the senses, is what I'm trying to say. You're just stimulating it. You might get a little high, but you get back down because you need more. You need more. You need more. This gets you stuck on the hamster wheel of desires. And this hamster wheel of desires deters you from ever being able to discover what that Dharma is. It distracts you because the more that you're distracted by that, the less that you can focus inwardly. Because all your attention, all your energy, all your focus is being extrapolated and pulled away from you into the external world. You're looking for happiness in things that are temporary. How fucking stupid is that? Happiness, joy, bliss is a state of being, is a state of consciousness that can only be turned on like a light switch when you go within. You can get fake sources of it externally, but of course you always will need more. You always need more and more and more. This is why I always say the sadhus, the sages, the saints, the mystics, the yogis of the past, the guys that are able to meditate up in caves naked. I'm not saying for you to go do that, but they went and done that. They are more blissful than the fucking billionaires. The billionaires with all the cars, with all the clothes, with all the houses, with all the mansions, with all the hoes. Yet these guys self-delete themselves on a day-to-day basis. Why? Because their soul is never fulfilled, and they're trying to fill this empty void with these temporary pleasures, with these temporary pursuits, instead of actually finding what that eternal presence, what that eternal purpose they were brought here to do. Especially as a man, your purpose is your foundation. Yet a lot of people have been fooling you to believe that your purpose is just about survival, sex, and status. That's the purpose of my fucking dog. You're a divine being. Wake up. There is a specific purpose that you were brought here to do, yet most of us have forgotten that because we're in a state of spiritual amnesia. We're stuck in a slumber of our soul. However, what activates and turns this back on is this ascent up the spine. Each chakra that you tune into and go and elevate beyond, the more that you get in closer and closer to those subtle planes. And again, you tap in and activate the gnosis, the knowledge of what that Dharma is up here in the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra. That's where you get that knowledge. And again, this is all correlated to the nervous system, the nerve plexuses. Again, you've all heard the saying, wherever attention goes, energy flows. If your attention is up in this chakra, guess where your energy is going to go? Same rules apply. Whenever your energy goes up to that point, attention flows up to that point. This is why you have these yogic practices, such as breathwork, pranayama, semen retention, celibacy, meditation, all this stuff, again, that we talk about on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community especially, because we got all those tutorials over there. Within my personalized coaching program especially, because I make it systemized for you, motherfucker. Again, all that good stuff posted in the pinned comments video. If you're ready to take that leap, let's make it happen. But as you start to ascend and you start to tap into that gnosis, that divine knowledge just becomes an inner guide, an inner guru for you, an inner transmitting signal that is almost acting as a GPS system. A GPS system that is connected not to Google, but connected to God. And God starts guiding you on this path you were brought here to do in order to live a life that not only fulfills you, your mind and body, but also liberates your motherfucking soul. So you're no longer on your deathbed thinking about, oh man, I should have done this, should have done that, and then stuck within another cycle within this spinning wheel of samsara, this cycle of reincarnation. If you didn't know, now you know. That's what this journey up the spine is about. Because the closer and closer you get up to these higher points, ending off with the crown chakra, because now you have discovered your Dharma, you start living a life of divine bliss, of you're purely in the present, and you become a divine vessel for God. You go beyond duality. You understand that you're merely just an instrument in this cosmic symphony of life. And this is a type of feeling, a type of state of existence that is, you can't be putting into words. I don't know why I'm trying. I've tasted it before through psychedelics, through my own spiritual practices. However, the longer and longer I've been on this journey of self-mastery, the longer and longer I'm able to stay in those states. Right now, when I'm recording this video, I didn't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I feel like I'm getting these downloads right off rip, that I'm being used as an instrument, as a divine vessel for God. bringing back the Dharma. You might not be making YouTube videos. You might be making music. You might be creating a business. You might be becoming a doctor. It doesn't matter what it is. Your Dharma is what's going to fulfill your mind and body, but most importantly, satisfy your soul. This is what most people lack. This is what most people are missing in the modern day world. They're stuck rooted in those lower planes. But once you find that Dharma and you start living a life to it, life aligned to it, you open up that gateway back to the divine, because you bring heaven on earth. You bring heaven on earth. You bring those states of spiritual ecstasy into your day-to-day existence because you've ascended up the spine. This is why, again, the title of this video is your spine is the gateway back to the divine. When you start to elevate and go beyond that through these specific practices of self-mastery, you turn on those buttons. And the more buttons you go up, it's almost like going up an elevator. You get to the top floor. Stop living at the fucking bottom floor. Stop living in the basement, motherfucker. You're consciously living in the basement. Hit the top floor. But you can't go from 0 to 100. You got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get all the way to the top floor. That's what this journey of self-mastery is about. This is what the spinal ascent, the solar ascent up the spine is about. Because I've always said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Your Dharma, your destiny is already there within you. Divine bliss is already there within you. Spiritual ecstasy is already there within you. God is already there within you. You just have been blocking your access to that point. The elevator is right there, yet the system maintenance is all fucked up and you can't get up to the top. You have to be like a mechanic of your own spine, fixing it. And each time you fix it, you get up another level, up another level, up another level, as you go up the Jacob's ladder, if you want to call it that. You have to be a mechanic of your own spine. And how the mechanic of the spine works is through the journey of self-mastery. That's the prerequisite. If you want to be a mechanic, you got to go to school. If you want to be a mechanic of the spine, you got to master the self. Oh, man. Write that shit down. That's a fucking bar. That is a goddamn bar. I should charge you for that. I should charge you for that. But no, like I was saying, the Dharma is right there. You just got to be a mechanic of the spine to get to the top floor. The elevator has the capability to get to the top floor. However, you have been just fucking around with it to the point that all the machine moving parts of it have rusted. Now you need to fix it. Because once you get up to that point, the Dharma is already there waiting for you. Your destiny is already there waiting for you. Divine bliss is already there waiting for you. It's almost like the sun. The sun right now, nowhere to be found in California, especially where I'm at. June gloom. Fucking hate that shit. But does that mean the sun is not there? No, it's there, past these clouds. Just like your Dharma is there, past all the clouds of your karma, past all the attachments that keep you rooted in those lower planes of consciousness. When you are stuck rooted in those planes, it's like the Dharma is always covered up by clouds. You're basically living in the UK, always cloudy over there. Always cloudy, always shit weather over there. But when you start to ascend, the clouds start to clear up, and once you get to the highest points, it's like you're living in fucking the tropic islands of Hawaii. The weather is beautiful, the sun is always shining. Because that Dharma, that true self is like the sun, it's always there. And it's located on the upper regions of your spine, of your mind. Yet the only way that you can climb up it, the only way that you can clear those clouds, clear the snow, clear the rain, is by mastering the self. By dissolving those karmas, and then, only then, can you discover your Dharma. This is the path of self-mastery. This is the ascent up the spine. Let this stuff marinate in your motherfucking mind. Let it sink into your psyche. Because if you're someone who's truly serious, I'm telling you, man, if you made it this far into the video that's damn near 40 minutes long, and you're not someone that's truly serious about this, not only did you waste your time, but also, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I know this is entertaining, I know I'm funny, I know I look good, but you're wasting your time. But again, if you're truly someone serious, which I think that you are, I hope that you are, instead of someone that's just listening to me for no fucking reason, I always say this to people who are watching this channel, the second channel, The Philosopher Files. You guys are in the 1 percentile of the population. Not only can you watch a video for this long, 40 minutes, with no cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking off the dome. Most people are suffering from brain rot, so that's not even a fucking option. But also, you're able to grasp these high-level concepts. No one's gonna watch a 40-minute video with no cuts or edits or anything like that about these types of topics. Matter of fact, a 3-minute video, a 2-minute video, a short, a reel. They cannot grasp these because, again, they're rooted in those lower planes. Maybe you're up in the heart. Maybe you're in that point where you take that ascent, or you choose to unconsciously keep descending. I don't know, maybe it's due to past lives. I don't know, maybe it's due to the karmas that you've dissolved here, that you've done some work on being the mechanic of your spine without even knowing it. But right now, you have the capability to grasp these higher level concepts. This is a gift from God, and you cannot waste it on not applying this knowledge, because you can sit here and listen like, wow, man, this ascent of the spine sounds fascinating, wonderful. But I ain't gonna fucking master this self. It's too hard. I gotta sacrifice? Fuck that. I'm not really about it. But it's cool, this stimulates my mind. I have the knowledge of it. Knowledge don't mean shit. You need to turn that knowledge into gnosis. Knowledge is up in the mind, gnosis resides in the heart. The transmitter in between these two is first-hand experience. You must apply this wisdom. You can't just sit here, waste this incarnation on spiritual degradation, especially you. I'm talking directly to you right now who made it this far into the video. Especially you. You have the ability to grasp these higher concepts, so might as well apply them. Because you never know, maybe the next incarnation, because you failed to achieve liberation in this lifetime, maybe the next incarnation you come in a lower form, a brain rot idiot. Then you gotta work from ground zero again. Let's make this incarnation your one-way ticket to liberation. And this is the journey of why your spine is a gateway back to the divine. You must apply it, and as you start to apply these teachings of self-mastery, you start to open up the gateways and start to ascend and climb up the ladder of your own spine, of your own nervous system, of your own solar system. Because if you don't apply this, this is like people who watch self-improvement videos after self-improvement videos and read self-help book after self-help book and don't apply it. They call them mental masturbators. I'm calling you right now a spiritual masturbator if you don't apply these teachings. Because if you're able to grasp what I'm saying, man, and forget about me, focus on the message, forget about the messenger, focus on the message. I'm just here to revive the ancient wisdom, the esoteric teachings of the past from the real awakened masters, the real awakened sages who have left us the blueprint on this gateway and this journey back to the divine, which is done through walking the path of the spine. They've left all these teachings for us. I'm not recreating the wheel. I'm not trying to make anything new. I'm just trying to revive it. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 9, there is nothing new under the sun. So don't think that I'm just making that shit up out of my ass. No, that is not the case. I'm just here to revive it and make it more practical, make it more applicable for you as a modern man to apply into your life right here, right now, because we are in dire need of this. We don't have enough of this divine masculine energy revolving around the world. We have this degenerate masculinity that is running the show, and that's why the whole world is keeps on degenerating, and the spirit of mankind is slowly but surely going deeper and deeper into the slumber of spiritual amnesia. You, as a true spiritual aspirant, must wake up yourself from this slumber and become a divine beacon of light that naturally, as a byproduct, awakens others as well. You must apply it, and you must take this seriously, because this ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. We're here for a good time, but you better make it your last time. You better be making sure that this is your one-way ticket to liberation, this incarnation, motherfucker. But let's end it off right there. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains. I'm out here. Peace.